Any speeches on the part of the majority? Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. 2.5 years ago at 22nd and Market, there was a building collapse. It resulted in the loss of 6 lives, 2 of them from the 4th Councilmatic District. You started immediately by appointing a committee to look at the catastrophe to see what we as legislators could do to prevent that kind of catastrophe again. I recall myself, Councilwoman Blackwell, Councilman Heenan, Councilwoman Sanchez, and former Councilman Kenny were a part of that committee. We came up with 75 recommendations to hold ourselves as a city accountable, to raise a standard of construction and deconstruction of buildings in the city of Philadelphia. Well, as we watched the trial this week, 2 people were convicted: the operator of the crane and the minority owner of the construction company. And when the prosecution stopped, the architect that saw the danger and said nothing was not held to task, and the owner of the building who had the property and most to gain by it being torn down were not prosecuted. A gentleman in my barber shop said to me in plain English, and I translate, "Councilman, what part of the game is that?" I would say to you that everyone should be held accountable for what they do. And the bill that I introduced today will begin that process. And it's simply common sense. If you see something, say something. You have a responsibility as a professional architect, who then said, well, when asked and questioned, did you know that this building could be a catastrophe? He said, well, yes. He said, did you say something? I said it to the owner. Well, why didn't you say it to the city of Philadelphia? Because I don't work for them. Well, that's of little comfort to the people who perished in that building. So from now on, your architect, as you go for your professional license, you need to see something, say something, because we will come after your professional license. We will hold you accountable. It won't just be the low-paid worker or the minority company. It goes all the way up the food chain to the owner. And in the city of Philadelphia, we need to hold all people accountable under one standard. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. And again, I want to commend the committee on the great work that they did and a series of recommendations, and hopefully we will be fully implementing all of those recommendations over the next term. Chair now recognizes Councilwoman Reynolds Brown.